Hey Year 8s, let's go over Assessment 6. First I'll show you the questions again so you can have another look at them. Feel free to hit pause if you want to try again. And then at the end we'll take them up. Question 1, find the area of this trapezium. Question 2, find the area of this parallelogram. Question 3, you need to rearrange the area of a triangle formula because I'm giving you the area of the triangle, I'm giving you the base, and I want the height. Question 4, here I'm giving you the perimeter of a square and I want you to work out the area. Question 5, work out the total area of this composite shape. Question 6, work out the area of one shape and use that area to find the base of the other. Question 7, work out the areas of all four of these shapes and form some comparison about them. And question 8, work out the perimeters of all of these shapes and do some comparisons. Let's start taking up these answers. Question 1, so the area of this trapezium, first of all, we know the formula for the area of a trapezium. It's the average of the lengths, that's the average of the parallel side lengths, 12 and 21, multiplied by the height, that's the perpendicular distance between them. So A plus B over 2 times H. Do not include the 18 centimeters in this. 18 centimeters is not one of the parallel sides, nor is it the height. It's not perpendicular to the two parallel sides. So ignore it. We're going to do 21, that's this bottom length here, plus 12, that's this top length here, and we're averaging them, so we're dividing these two numbers by 2. And then we're multiplying by the distance between them, the height, 7. That gives us 33 divided by 2 times 7, which is 16.5 times 7, which is 115.5 centimeters squared. Question 2, this is a parallelogram. The area of a parallelogram is just base times height, just like a regular rectangle. Because see, I can cut off this triangle here, and it kind of looks like I have cut off this triangle here, and I can move it over to the other side, and it makes a rectangle. I have not changed the length of that base. I've just cut this and moved it directly to the other side, so it's the same length. And more importantly, the length across the top here, the 12, has not changed at all. I didn't cut anything from there. I just moved the bottom bit. So that's still going to be 12 centimeters by 5 centimeters, which is 60 centimeters squared. Question 3, the area of the triangle is 45 centimeters squared, and the base is 15. If you're given the area of a triangle, you must start with that formula. The formula for the area of a triangle, base times height divided by 2, that needs to be equal to the 45. That's what we were told in the beginning. So 45 is equal to the base, which we're told is 15, times the height, which I don't know, so I'll leave that as an h, divided by 2. To find out what that h is, I need to get it on its own. It's being multiplied by 15 and divided by 2, so I'll start by multiplying by the 2 and dividing by the 15. That'll be 90 over 15, which is 6. The height is 6 centimeters. Question 4, if you're given the perimeter of the square and you need to work out the area of the square, you should know that a perimeter is found by adding all of the sides. If it's a square, all 4 of those sides will be the same. So the perimeter is equal to 4 times the length of the square. We're told the perimeter is 28, so 28 is equal to 4 times the length of the square, which means that the length must be equal to 28 divided by 4. Now that's 7 centimeters. But we are not done. Reread the question. We weren't asked to look for the length. We were asked to work for the area of the square. And the area of the square is length times width. If we know that the length is 7, and this is a square, it's going to be 7 times 7. The width is the same as the length. So the area is 49 centimeters squared. Question 5, area of this composite shape. Notice that this shape is made up of a trapezium. We know it's a trapezium because this side length here is parallel to this side length there, even though they're different lengths. So that's the definition of a trapezium. This length here is parallel to that length up there. So that could be a parallelogram or it could be a rectangle. I'm thinking it's a rectangle because it looks like we've got a right angle here. So that's going to be 7 centimeters on this side as well. So 7 centimeters and 21 centimeters are my two lengths for my trapezium, and the height of that trapezium, I'll need to work that out. If this is 5 and the whole thing is 11, the height must be 11 minus 5, 6. So to work my total area out, I'll get my area of the trapezium, which is averaging these two lengths, the 7 and the 21, and then multiplying by the height, and the rectangle is just length times width, 7 times 5. So I've got 7 plus 21 divided by 2 to get the average, times 6, the height, plus 7 times 5, that's going to be 84, plus 35, which is 119 centimeters squared. That's my total area. I did that all at once. See, this is my trapezium, 84 is my trapezium, and this is my rectangle. The 35 is my rectangle. 119. Question 6. Now, you are given enough information to work out the area of this first trapezium, and we're asked to work out the area of the red shape first. Area of the trapezium, a plus b divided by 2 times h. Average out those two lengths, so 3 plus 9 divided by 2, and times that by the distance between them, the 5. So that's going to be 12 divided by 2 times 5. That's 6 times 5, which is 30. So the area of the red shape, the trapezium, is 30 millimeters squared. We are told from the very beginning that the area of these two shapes are equal. So the area of the blue shape is also 30 millimeters squared. So for part B, we're going to start with the formula for the area of a parallelogram. We know that it's equal to 30, and we know the height is the 4 millimeters, not the 5 millimeters, because that's not at 90 degrees to the base. So the area of the parallelogram is 30. Base times height must be 30. I don't know what the base is, but I know that the height is 4, so the base on its own must be 30 divided by 4. Opposite of multiply, divide. So B must be 7.5 millimeters. Next question, we're working out the height, next question, we're working out the areas of all of these shapes. The area of a rectangle should be pretty straightforward, length times width, 126. The area of a triangle is base times height. Now don't get confused about what your height is. Your height is not 13 centimeters here. It's the 9 centimeters going at perpendicular from the base up to the top point. So 18 times 9 divided by 2 is 81. The red shape area, it's a trapezium, so I'll average the top and the bottom lengths. That's 16 plus 20 divided by 2 times by the distance between them, which is 7, not 9. 9 is not perpendicular to either the lengths. So 20 plus 16 divided by 2 times 7, that gives me 126. And the green shape is a parallelogram. That's just base times height. The base is the same as what I've got labeled here at the top, 17 centimeters, and the height is the 7.5, not the 8 meters, which is going at some other angle other than 90. So 17 times 7.5, 127.5 meters squared. The color of the shape with the biggest area, clearly, I hope you can see, that's my green shape. The color of the shape with the smallest area, hopefully that's obvious from my answers here as well, it's the blue shape. And true or false, the range of these areas is 45.6. When you see true or false, I hope you're not just guessing at it. You should note that the range is the highest minus the lowest. And the highest, we've already identified, the biggest shape was the green shape. Highest is 127.5. And the smallest, the lowest, is the blue shape, the 81. So my range, highest minus lowest, is 127.5 minus 81, which is 46.5. Now look at that carefully. Is that true or false? It's false. 46.5, 45.6. I know it seems mean, but these kinds of questions do come up a lot on exams. Next, perimeters. Now you should be able to work at the perimeters of any of these shapes. It's just the sum of all the outer sides, but I hope you didn't get confused about which sides you're adding together. For the rectangle, although only these two sides are labeled, I hope you know that opposite sides of a rectangle are equal. So this is 7, so is this. This is 18, so is this. So the perimeter is 50. For the triangle, I hope you know you don't need the height for the triangle to work at its perimeter. It's just length times length plus length plus length. 13 plus 18, and although this one's not labeled, it's also 13. So there's two 13s plus 18 is 44. For my red shape down here, all of my side lengths are labeled, so I just go ahead and add them. That's 52. And for my parallelogram, again, I know that this is 17, so this is going to be 17. I know that this is 8, so this is going to be 8. And in the case of the perimeter, we do not add in lengths that are not part of the outer lengths of the shape. So that's 50. E. What color of shape has the same perimeter as the green shape? Well, the green shape is 50, and so is the yellow shape. So yellow. F. Write the color of the shape with the smallest perimeter. Looking at my perimeters, that's definitely this 44. That's the blue shape, the triangle. And G. True or false, the mean of these perimeters is 49. The mean, again, don't guess at it. You should try to work this out. The mean is the average where we add all of the values together and divide by the number of values there are. So that's going to be the 50 plus the 44 plus the 52 plus the 50. Add those all together. Those were 4 different values, so I divide by 4, and that gives me 196 divided by 4, 49. So the mean is 49. That's true. Always look over your answers before you enter them in, just to make sure, and then go ahead and check them over before you submit. Now, I hope you see now that that was not the most difficult assessment, but I hope that we've cleared up a lot of your doubts by going over it.